Welcome to episode 3 of the Fabric of Ireland podcast. Today, I'm joined by Conor Clarke, career and confidence coach and founder of CWC Coaching and Consulting. This testimonial I'm about to share captures the professionalism, dedication, and genuine care that he brings to his coaching work. I found my coaching experience with Conor to be highly professional and felt fully supported, guided, and listened to, which enabled me to explore and make changes in my life in a very proactive way. This brought me confidence to take control of areas of my life I was having difficulties in, and I've been reaping the benefits ever since. I've since started a course which I was putting off through fear of failure, and have improved relationships in my life. I would highly recommend Conor for coaching to anyone. So I'm excited to have Conor on today and just excited to learn more about his journey from all the transitions he's made. And excited to have this conversation. Hi, Conor, and welcome to the Fabric of Ireland podcast.
Great to be here, Caroline. Thank you.
Great. And I love this testimonial that I just shared. It really speaks to the person that you are and that care that you have for people, because it's wholesome, because you weren't only helping them professionally, but also in their personal in their personal sort of endeavors. So it's amazing that you've had that impact, and I'm sure you'll have much more sort of testimonials like this going forward in your coaching business.
Yeah, no, it's definitely when you see someone go through a transformation and the journey from start to finish from that course. I'm not able for that course I'm progressing. I'm going to sign up for that course, for example, with that client. So it's just going underneath the layers and exploring, the limitations, the beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves.
Okay.
So coaching is a mixture of, I suppose, the personal life, the professional life, but it all combines into one. But it's more looking at who you are as a person and what really matters to you, and having that connection or alignment for your inner and outer world. So I'm all about the individual. I'm all about achieving your definition of success, your why, your motives, and really having that clear vision, that honesty and trust for yourself. So that's how I like to work with the person. So start from coming home to self, doing that self-exploration, self-discovery work. And then you can do the deeper work where you're looking at the mindset, the beliefs, I suppose what you want to achieve in your life as well. So there's a lot of work to do, but it's a meaningful and rewarding journey as well.
Yeah, the why always comes to confront us at some point, and it's amazing that you've helped so many make successful transitions with, navigating the why and coming out of it and taking it on as a life lesson. So congratulations on, starting your practice and following your own why. So I wanted to start by talking about your upbringing and growing up in Ireland, and just talk me through who is Conor Clarke, what was your upbringing like in Ireland, and what are some of your childhood memories or favorite childhood memories, if there are?
Going back to the past, the memory bank. I would have grown up in Castleknock, Dublin, so my parents would have been from outside of Dublin. My mom's from Kerr, my dad's from Fermanagh. I have a brother.
Okay.
So really, terms of childhood memories, and that is just playing games like curbs, the football, or squares, or pole football, or on the green. Come from an area where there was a good community spirit. Like, people would be out during times like Halloween dressing up, and I know it's only Halloween, I think sometime next week. And even just going to school, we lived 2 minutes down the road, and just the packed lunches, and then just the school uniform and playing chasing during the break. But other things that I remember would be, say, like a PlayStation or a Nintendo or a Sega. And we didn't have, what would you say, Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That you have to go out and meet up with your friends. And the first mobile phone I would have had was a Nokia.
Okay.
And then the iPod. And a lot has changed since then in terms of childhood. Going down to Kerry most summers.
Okay.
Where my relations are. So there's good summer memories there, or even just heading out to Malahide or Portmarnock and places like these, Holt, and just walks the coast. Saw beauty in Dublin as well.
Okay.
And just even learning the Irish language and how bad I was at it. Would stand
Don't
out in
go there.
things in school. So there is a lot of memories, and even with close friends and that. And like we would have the Irish pound, and then that would convert into the euro, I think, in the early 2000s. And then I sort of noticed more of a cultural change where a lot
Okay.
of international people were coming to Ireland to live here and to have a better life. So you start off with friends in, I suppose, from Ireland, and then
Mm.
from different countries as well. So you sort of get a different perspective, approach, and creativity, imagination from talking about other people as well. So they'd be just a couple of things in playing sports like hurling and football, which is GA or national sports, and basketball in school. So they're just a couple of things that will stand out in terms of growing up in that.
Would you say Castleknock today is very different from the time when you were growing up, or is it there's still a lot of the elements that you had growing up?
That's where I grew up. That's where I am now. And I did live abroad in Canada,
Okay.
Vancouver for a bit. And I did a bit of traveling, Southeast Asia and that before COVID happened. So I had to cut my travel short. But a lot of Castleknock has changed.
Mm.
Like it used to sort of be like a small sort of village area.
Okay.
Now there's just a lot more traffic. We have a lot more choices of coffee shops.
Okay.
Um, a Big Little, which is sort of like the main shopping centre where people go just for groceries and things. A lot more houses built, schools around the area, and yeah, it's been impacted as well. Like we've had
Mm.
restaurants close in recent years
Yeah.
because of the price of or the cost of residential real estate going up. So some of my friends still live there. Some of them have moved to different parts of Dublin, others
Mm.
abroad. But I live close to the Phoenix Park as well, so
Okay.
that hasn't changed as much. So that's the beauty of living there. But there has been change, but it still feels home.
That's nice. And it's amazing to kind of see a place evolve, but also see the changes. And I know sometimes it can be a balance of good and bad, but for the most part, it is good changes that you see. So that's really positive. And so, my next question is I want to ask how you define your Irish identity. And do you have a strong connection to Irish history and culture?
I think in recent years, since I've gotten older, a few more grey hairs, that I've appreciated growing up in Ireland more.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Would I say I have a strong connection to Irish identity and that I would be more interested in the individual
Okay.
rather than if they're Irish or Canadian or English or a different country.
Mm.
But I do think there's a lot of benefit growing up here that there's been a lot of change
Okay.
in terms of social change. What I mean by that is the equality referendum, I think back in 2015 and repeal date in 2018. So we've taken or come a long way in terms of social change and even seeing the Celtic Tiger where things were prospering, seemed to be a
Mm.
lot of money, more family holidays and money going around. And then like obviously the Clap Anglo-Irish Bank and sort of the property crash.
Mm.
And people emigrating as well because losing jobs and not having much opportunity here. So we had a few tough years.
Yep.
I would like Irish history. Like I was fascinated learning more about the 1916 Rising and events afterwards that led to Irish independence and just even things like sport, GA,
Yeah.
Gaelic and hurling. And like we do have our own traditions in terms of music and storytelling as well, which has always been part of Irish identity.
Mm.
And even just poetry, even learning about that in school. Just some names that come to mind right now are W.B. Yeats and
Yeah.
Patrick Kavanagh, but then there's Oscar Wilde, and then there's George Bernard Shaw, just other people in that, and Samuel Beckett. And then I know we have a great artistic entertainment industry here
Yeah.
in terms of the arts, so we have a lot of talent. But for me, like I think it's just the community factor, family, friends, building that trust and environment would be important things to me. So I would say,
Mm.
yes, I'm Irish, but it's more of how I've been shaped as a person all through the years of my experience.
Okay.
So it would be part of my identity, Caroline.
And do you think that those experiences are maybe I could say positive because it's not that you want to move so far away from what's shaped you, maybe undo something or redo something. Do you know what I mean? If it's if it's had a negative impact, you wouldn't want to carry it into your adulthood. So for the most part, I'd say there were positive experiences that shaped you then.
Well, there's definitely a lot of things that I'm grateful for, but there's things in my past, or say beliefs or
Mm.
stories I used to carry around that would have impacted living in the present moment, sometimes being the past or looking well towards the future. But the two easiest decisions I've ever made in my life, Caroline, was one, moving to Vancouver,
Okay.
and two, moving back to Ireland.
Oh.
Because it
Yeah.
made me realise that you still have to carry around what's going on in here.
So
But
true.
I think coming back to Ireland has led to so much of a transformational and personal growth experience
Mm.
that's led me down to the path I'm in now. But obviously living in Vancouver and being around that Irish community as well,
Okay.
um, the North America work environment is a lot different here, where we probably value family and having balance more, where career and progression and productivity and profitability is more important. So
Yeah, focus on the family and yeah, it's amazing that you say that because I think in a previous episode I had spoken about transitions and you can move to different places but then you still carry baggage around which actually it's still clinging to your identity and you have to make conscious decisions to allow yourself to transform. And it's an interesting reflection for me as well because I find Ireland to have so much transformative power. I don't know how to put it, but there's something about it that there's so much transformation that can happen with a person, and it's especially true for myself at least. So I'm just amazed that you were saying that as well. That
in terms of upbringing, our first people we come across is our family, our
Mhm.
parents. So I would say came from a very nurturing, loving, supportive environment where we're encouraged to go after what we want and look at the world of possibilities and opportunities.
Okay.
Well, I probably did lose that a bit throughout my time in the professional workplace at the start. Managed to reconnect with that, but like I've done kickboxing, I've done GAA, I've done
Mm.
basketball, played soccer with friends, done acting, just different things
Okay.
that sort of shape who you are as a person, and if that's going mainly through school or local clubs and that. But I think Ireland is sort of a support community, always had that culture and environment. And we talk about GA football matches, for example, Caroline, people look
Mm.
forward to the local match on a Saturday or Sunday, or if Dublin were playing in Croke Park, or if I don't know, the Irish rugby team or soccer team were playing in say Lansdowne Road. Like a moment that just pops there to my mind is the 2002 World Cup, where it was sort of a big sporting occasion where Ireland were, I think, was in South Korea
Mm.
and Japan that World Cup, and I was probably just a little bit over 10 at that stage.
Okay.
I just remember people watching on TV or coming to the pub and scoring goals. So I'd say for me, it's had a positive impact. Like there's a lot of opportunity here if you look for it.
Yeah.
Though it is sort of challenging times at the moment with renting and housing.
Hmm.
That's probably the only downfall, where we're losing a lot of talent and bright individuals to abroad, mainly to Canada or Australia. And I like a lot of these people are happy there.
Mm.
But there's also people that are, as you said, carrying baggage, running away. And I think when I went to Vancouver and accepted that my life is going to change moving back to Ireland, because I thought I was going to do something artistic. I was
Okay.
convinced I was, but I took a few initial steps. I realised that's not what I wanted. But I think if you move into Ireland and you move back home, or me moving to Canada, moving back home now, or if it doesn't work out, you can always go home or
Mm.
change your mind, or
Yeah.
you don't have to look at it as if it's success or failure. Like you're just creating a new experience, new chapter, a new
Mm.
memory, moving on to the next venture. So that's what I mean by opportunities and possibilities, because you never know what, taking this action could lead to. And I don't look at things as working out or not.
Mm.
Like it works out in some different way. It just might be a different path or an outcome.
Okay. Love that. And yeah, I love the perspectives you've shared. And do you think that what do you think we can do, or what do you think can be done to preserve the community aspect and just keep that, should I say integrity of Ireland, or just keep that spirit that, you know, of coming together and opportunities as well, which, like you're saying, if you can explore different opportunities. On my end, like I've tried design, I've tried different things as well, and you can say, okay, this didn't work out for me, but the environment doesn't preclude you from actually trying. You can actually try and do what you may think will work for you. So, what do you think is a key to success in just preserving that identity or that aspect of the identity of Ireland?
I think just success to start off as a definition for everyone.
Mm,
So just make sure if it's your own definition, which is an external, or you're going down the external path like money and recognition, for example, there's a possibility that you might not be happy and then you get disconnected from your identity. But I think in terms of Irish identity, just acknowledging anyone that's made a contribution to writing, the arts, if it's sports, or just coming together, say something like St. Patrick's Day at the parade or with your friends, or just acknowledging the different timelines or how this nation became one. Because I think we joined the EU in 1972 or 3, and that really opened up more opportunities and funding and better schools, roads, and that. So I'd say in terms of identity, community, and culture, it's just to be open to opportunities,
mm,
be inclusive and diverse, listen to other people, understand where they're coming from, be
yeah.
curious, understand their story, ask them questions, and you could learn something from every conversation. So
Mm,
I say be open to having conversations with everyone, be open to different kind of relationships,
yeah.
and just try new things. If it's a hobby, um, something creative, artistic, or visiting a different part of Ireland you've never been to before. So
Mm,
guess not the I guess it's a different answer for everyone, but I
yeah.
think, what does identity mean to you, or it comes back to your who
Mm,
and how that forms you as a person,
yeah.
personally and professionally.
Well, I agree. I'm thinking and processing everything, but I do agree, and yeah, it always comes back to self, and you have to walk this journey alone. Nobody is. Well, I don't want to say nobody's going to save you, but it is a journey that can only be walked by a person, and with the decisions that you take for yourself and how you want it to work out for you. Um,
Yeah, Caroline, just to add, it is a journey. We have our own unique path.
mm,
But it all comes back to self awareness. And that journey or path can be easier when you ask yourself, well, how well do I know who I am?
mm,
And then just lining your actions to your core values and
yeah,
making sure you're living true to your core values, that nothing's suppressed or nothing's misaligned, or maybe you're not even aware there's a value there.
yeah.
So the whole thing, no one's coming to save you. Like, there is support and help out there,
Mm.
but you know, like, someone can guide you, mentor, and coach you along the way, but they can't do it for you.
Exactly.
So
No,
that's
they
where
can't.
actions do forward reality.
Yeah.
So it's coming back to taking personal responsibility for your choices and decisions.
True story. Yeah. So I want to talk about coaching and your transition from finance to recruitment and then coaching. And yeah, what are the similarities or common threads between the three of them, and what's been the most fulfilling for you?
So just start off how it all
Yeah.
began.
Well, yeah. How did it begin? Yes, yes.
So there's
Um,
accountancy and then
mm,
there's coaching. So now we're going to talk about the gap, and then we're looking at fulfillment and how did it all come about. When I left university, I thought I was going to be a chartered accountant. I was going to own my own accountancy practice, and this is going to be the dream.
be a
And
partner and
be, well, I don't know if I'd be a partner, but I'd definitely be owning my own accountancy practice or in
Mm,
partnership with someone. But I guess when you start off and you realize there's a misalignment, and the first place I worked for probably wasn't aligned to my values, put it this way, or personality clashes and different values, and things don't work out. But it made me sort of realize further down the road that this wasn't a career for me. So I
okay.
was probably going on a journey that wasn't meant to be, and accountancy wasn't fulfilling. I
Mm,
just wasn't happy. I was sort of bored, frustrated, disillusioned, lost for most of it.
Okay.
There was better times, but you were
Mm.
going to say something there?
No, how
Or
did you end up studying accounting in college? Or you studied it in college, right?
I did accountancy in secondary school.
In secondary
I
school,
quite
okay.
liked it in a way because you got exposure to, I guess, understanding how a profit and loss statement is or statement of financial position. I was also studying economics too.
Mm.
So they sort of aligned in different way. I know economics is more to do with the economy. Then there's micro and macro, and then accountancy. They get exposure to maybe small trade businesses or small or SMEs, different
Mm.
sectors like maybe agriculture or I think retail is another manufacturing. So you get sort of exposure to business. And there's a bit of problem solving.
Yeah.
But that was back when I was 17, 18. Then university was fine, but I just think when you go into a trainee contract and it's probably idealistic as well,
Okay.
how the workplace should be. And then when
Yeah.
you're in an environment of mostly unhappy adults and groupthink and broken promises and just I guess that's toxic behavior
The
or
casualty department
the
or something.
casualty department. So it just opens your eyes a bit. Sound like, well, a partner said to me once, you have to learn how to play the game.
Okay.
And I was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, this, to succeed, to be successful, I think was the word.
Mm.
And I just realized it's not what I wanted in this firm. And I left a couple of weeks after, joined another one, which went a lot better. And it was really when I was in Canada, I wanted to try something new like recruitment or something different. And I fell back in accountancy. Oh, feelings came back after 5 weeks. It
Mm.
was so bored. It's even worse in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think his partner called me in one of the days because I think my performance was dropping. And he was just saying, like, Connor, do you want to be doing this work for the rest of your life? That just question just really hit me home saying, no, I don't. And I think
No.
at the time, Caroline, he meant, doing the tedious, repetitive, boring work, the number crunching,
Okay.
where he was talking about you want to get to a manager role or something
Yeah.
better.
What's
But
the
I just
plan?
didn't want that environment. And I quit after 3 weeks, traveled around Canada for 4 months afterwards. So I only did maybe like, I think it was 9 months on my visa. But I
Okay.
think for me, that was enough to come back to Ireland and start looking at different things. So my first journey, let's say, there was a lot of learning lessons in terms of assertiveness, communication, confidence building, and doing a little bit of personal development work myself, but I was never fulfilled. Where in recruitment, I enjoyed that more.
Okay.
So I was recruiting for accountancy and finance professionals. I enjoyed the job for the most part.
Mm.
Had a lot of autonomy and was making placements at the time and getting to chat to a lot of different people,
Yeah.
understanding what the problems, the challenges, the difficulties they were facing in their current company, maybe the boss, the team,
Mm.
and navigating the Irish job market. Because I used to deal with a lot of international candidates too that moved to Ireland. So a lot of common things are like a better life for family,
Yeah.
if that's Irish and internationals,
Mm.
or to create more opportunities and possibilities. And some just wanted to make money. But
Get rich.
I think it opened up business development skills, negotiating different sectors.
Yeah.
And I guess I used my accountancy experience to do that job because I
Okay.
understood industry, financial services. So it was more aligned, that's it, to my values of helping people, guiding me. But it's a well known agency recruitment is
Mm.
making money at the end of the day in sales. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
did burn out at the end of that and well, burning out, but said I wanted to go and just do coaching again. That's
Okay.
where the fulfillment lies. That's where the joy, the passion, the love, personal growth, helping people to really achieve their personal and professional desires and guiding them on this journey of transformation
Mm.
and just really coming home to themselves, reconnecting and finding that path that gives them that fulfillment, meaning and purpose and just love for what they do for themselves, for their family,
Yeah.
friendships. And to me, it's nothing better seeing someone doing a job they love or giving back to their community or having the confidence to go traveling the world, even write that book, whatever it is, and getting them to think of questions of what they want to achieve in their life, what's success for them,
Okay.
the legacy they might want to leave for their family, their friends, their community. So the fulfillment part, the similarities is it has had accountancy involvement in some way because I have coached all accountancy and finance professionals,
Mm.
but I guess the links and the similarities, all my experiences good and bad, has shaped the person I am today and my identity.
Okay.
So that would be sort of a long way of explaining
No worries.
how we got here.
I can picture everything you're saying in a way. And yeah, it is interesting. I actually want to ask you regarding, let's say, some of the maybe difficulties that might happen in a workplace. Why do you think it is that that accounting environment or that training environment is so tough? Or
I think if you look at the accountancy world or that kind of professional services, I guess in my opinion, I think it attracts a lot of people that are competitive,
okay,
love competing
mm,
and love winning.
okay,
And if career progression and titles and success climb the ladder, you can excel quite well.
yeah,
You might not be happy, but you think that the next promotion, the next job title in the competition,
mm,
that's your definition of success.
oh yeah,
I think why a lot of people might be happy or unhappy and are miserable is possibly a values misalignment and really
okay,
coming out of university into the workplace. You know, you have to take personal responsibility in the workplace, but people tend to blame their boss, tend to blame the government, tend to blame their colleagues, their manager, and you can be dealing with difficult people. But if you're finding yourself in an environment or a company or a team and you're just not happy, most likely there's something suppressed like a value missing,
mm,
or the values don't align with your team or the work you're doing. Why are a lot of people unhappy? I don't think humans, if we look at it, are designed to be in office spaces 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And especially when you had choice when the
mm,
pandemic happened
okay,
and people
yeah,
can realize working from home, Caroline.
yeah,
And then if you're to take that sort of freedom or choice
mm.
and say you have to be back in the office 5 days a week or 4 days a week, and then you're like, why? And they can't give you why, or they say productivity or collaboration and all these buzzwords.
Mm,
I just think people want to feel respected. Careers mean different things to different people. Not everyone wants to be career oriented. They might just want a job or a career that can fit around their lifestyle, if that's their family or personal life outside. So I just think maybe the work itself, accountancy, and is it making a positive impact on people's lives? Really, at the end of the day, possibly not. Maybe depending on the industry, the sector. If
yeah.
you're now in a non-profit or a charity, maybe. But I don't know. I guess I have a sort of a strong feeling one way, where someone else might have a different one.
Yeah.
But I just go from coaching people and people I dealt with. I think a lot of people are doing work, if it's accountancy or law or it could be teaching, or it doesn't matter what it is, or in pharma, but they're
Mm,
doing work that they don't really want to be doing, or doesn't really align to who they are, or they prefer to be just doing something else.
yeah.
Maybe it's that fear, that limiting self beliefs, failure, people laughing, what would they say? What happens if things
Mm.
don't work out? And then you're thinking all these scenarios to not go after what you truly want. And
The
it's
bank account and the profit and loss is not balancing.
the bank account, profit and loss. I guess, look, money is a factor, but it's taking small steps. You
Yeah,
can take one action a day. You
true.
don't have to quit your job straight away, or if you wanted to do that, it's fine too. Like, there's no right or wrong answers. But I think if you have a mortgage, family, and kids, and it's a little bit more harder, it's not
Yeah.
impossible. And the good thing about life is you can start again every day,
Mm.
every tomorrow even.
Yeah, okay.
Going quite deep here with some of the
You're going
questions and
really
answers.
deep. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm taking it all in though, so it's great. And so, could you describe to me the person that's walking in for coaching services? Like, where's their head at? Um, is a lot of millennials. I don't know. What does that sort of demographic look like without revealing too much? But or what does that person's state present when it comes to Connor and says, "Could you coach me and just help me with this challenge that I have?"
That's a good question, actually. There's, let's say, two groups of people,
Mm,
and then I'll talk a little about demographics and age. There's the group which I've sort of been evolving more in the last year of working with leaders, high achieving professionals, directors, managers, people that have a vision, they have a challenge,
Okay.
they're fun to work with. They're like what you call a premium client. They
Okay.
put in the work,
Mm.
they take the responsibility, and they accept the coaching process
Mm.
and responsibility for their decision and choices. So
Okay.
I'm sort of like their guide.
Yeah.
If we're on a boat and they're steering the ship and I'm just guiding them through, let's say the cloud or the fog,
Mm.
and then just pushing that away for them to see the path for themselves. Or if you're going up a mountain, let's say,
Yeah.
they're sort of, I'm just guiding along the way, but they're leading the journey. The client is sort of like person focused.
Okay.
So I just try to create that space, awareness, insight, perspective, and trying to give them to realize all the options, the answers out there so they can find themselves.
Yeah.
So that they're the kind of individuals. They're a little bit more experienced in life. They could be between 35 to 50.
Mm.
There's also the kind of people which is younger and ones that still be 35 to 50 but could be stuck, frustrated, lost and bored. And this is around lacking confidence, career changes, and maybe lacking a certain communication skills, for example,
Okay.
where the ones that are more growth mindset or ambitious are willing to commit to the coaching journey,
Mm.
for others that don't know much about it or think that I have to give them the solution, or they won't say invest in themselves unless it's going to work.
Okay.
Life doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So I think the difference between these two groups of people is one group takes the actions, have confidence, and they can handle anything that comes their way,
Mm.
and they don't need that 100% clarity. Or the group that are sort of stuck, let's say, and maybe haven't progressed, are the ones that need that 100% clarity.
Mm.
I won't do it until I have a full roadmap. There can be no mistakes, no failure, no setbacks.
Mm.
But
They will be.
there will be, and that's the thing with life. And just think about a baby, for example.
Mm.
Does a baby start to walk until it's 100% ready?
No.
No. Or else never learn to walk. They'll get up, fall, get up again, fall, stumble.
Yeah.
No, it's like cycling a bike. When you first cycle that bike, you'll probably fall off the bike once or twice,
Yeah.
maybe a few times. It'll go take a week to get a grasp of it. So that's another childhood memory, actually. I used to fall off my bike so much, and even my dad encouraging me to get back on and that,
Mm.
but it's getting back on that bike.
Yeah.
So the two kinds of people, like, I guess experiences impact us as well.
Yeah.
So, like, how you respond to things will determine your reality. So,
Okay.
even if you stay and don't take an action, you're still taking an action.
Yeah.
So,
True.
if I was just to go over a little framework I use in coaching, the first thing we all have is an instinct.
Yes.
So, we have an inner voice telling us that we need to do something or change thing or going after it.
Yeah.
So, if we listen to our instinct, not fight it, avoid it, use logic, or try to talk it out of it or procrastinate, we accept this is how I feel. It's what my
Mm.
instincts tell me. This is the change I need. And then the difference I find, Caroline, between someone that trusts themselves and someone that doesn't, it all comes down to a choice.
Okay.
So if you choose to believe in yourself or not, you're still making a choice.
Yeah.
So I think Henry Ford has a quote, something like, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I
Yeah.
agree with the quote, but the quote is quite worthless if you don't take action.
Take action.
Because it's really actions that forge reality, and that's where the personal responsibility, the taking ownership of your choices and any challenges that come your way, you look for solutions.
Mm.
You look, well, how can I use this obstacle to my benefit?
Yeah.
And I just think it comes back to really having that self awareness, knowing your core values, just choosing to believe in yourself a little bit more and just blocking out voices of negativity,
Mm.
people down you. And confidence is really truly built from the actions you take,
Yeah.
because you might learn from the experience, you might fail. So if you look at curiosity over judgment, progress over perfection, and maybe
Yeah.
have a mindset that's win and learn, and your relationship to failure. I think Samuel Beck has a quote: "Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try
Mm.
again, fail better." So it all comes down to
Yeah.
how you see things. And that confidence leads to clarity. And I touched on there, the mistake most people make with clarity is they have to be 100% ready, where
Yeah.
that doesn't really happen. Clarity comes from just being confident that you can deal with any challenges that come your way. And that's why I say is self-trust.
Mm.
So then there's other things like, well, limiting self-beliefs, conditioning, fear of failure, the unknown. If you can just change your thinking a little bit
Okay.
or asking the right questions, it can really make a significant difference to your life.
Yeah. True. Oh my word. You're just unpacking a lot of different things that are getting me thinking as well. And
Power coaching.
yeah, I'm actually having my own coaching session. So although when you say that, I um obviously I know with the frameworks within the remit of coaching, but even when I've journeyed on, different things, even with therapy and coaching, personally, it's always brought me back to my faith. So I always go back to those values. Those are the ones that center me. And even when, as you were speaking, that you have to act like it says in the word, faith without works is dead. So you actually do need to do something. You can't just sit there and wait for, I don't know, the the rain to fall. You actually have to take positive steps towards your destiny, or what it is that's on your heart that is silenced or aching when it's not expressed in some kind of way. So
I think
yeah,
it's about creating these opportunities, creating inspiration,
yeah,
creating motivation, where a lot of people wait for inspiration to happen, motivation, and you could be waiting quite a long
yeah,
time. And a lot of people, Caroline, only make that change when the pain becomes too much. And
yeah.
that's what forces a lot of people to change, that they don't want to go through that again.
Mm,
There's something there that's just sort of slipped my mind, but we might come back to it. But the inspiration or just that personal compass,
mm,
whatever your core values is, maybe your shining light, your North Star, or if you said fate, whatever you feel can get you to where you want.
yeah.
So whatever belief you have or persistence and resilience, that's what I was looking for.
Mm,
Like life is challenging. We're all going to have setbacks and disappointments.
yeah.
But the more resilient and persistent and how you deal with these challenges, obstacles and setbacks to not dealing with them or running away from them,
Yeah.
sort of the difference maybe to being a little bit more successful or not.
And there's no smooth journey. It's setbacks happen, challenges happen, and yeah, that product that comes out from all that refining and the different overcoming, people will look at it and think, oh, this was, happened overnight. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of different challenges along the way that you have to
I
fight
think,
through.
I think Caroline, just add to what you said, is when you're more connected with yourself,
Mm,
when you take that time to journal, self-reflect, embrace solitude,
yeah.
and just really sit with, the good and the bad, what's happening in you, because you can learn so much in silence.
Mm,
That kind of solitude and just acknowledging how you're feeling, or maybe even just trying to connect with your own inner child, trying to bring those positive memories from your childhood,
okay.
that love, that nurturing support from your family
Mm.
or your caregiver. So, like, we all have like an inner child in us that,
Yeah.
we can connect with again.
I have the one that just giggles and um okay, so yeah, that's really insightful. So I want to also ask you, in terms of, let's say, the coaching candidates who present themselves to you, let's say someone who's born in Ireland and raised here versus someone like me who would have come here mid-career and trying to start over, would you have experience in dealing with different types of people like that? And um, yeah, what do you like notice in terms of what challenges they present, or are we actually more similar than we think?
In terms of similarities, I'd say, look, we all appreciate and value family,
Mm,
friends, our community.
yeah.
I think people that come in Ireland try to integrate with our culture and transitions or
Mm,
traditions, sorry. There could be some different things like maybe beliefs or different cultures, or I guess some days that are important, or
yeah.
maybe religious or spiritual events or festivals. I think in terms of differences, maybe a lot of Irish people might take things for granted because this is home.
Okay.
Where here, internationals that come, and they have to maybe find their own feet, their own
Mm,
path. 'Cause maybe they might not have that support, that connection. that network. So there is sort of different community groups to say, both Irish and or different ethnics and identity diverse and inclusive. But there is a lot of similarities. Maybe the cold weather might be a difference. The Irish weather, you might find a little bit harder, or the accents
The
and that,
fresh weather, you mean?
the fresh weather. So I would have a lot of friends that are internationals, more recent years and still some very close. But working in recruitment, I would have come across a lot of people that moved to Ireland and in the first few months or a couple of years and looking to take that next big step. So you sort of understand the challenges they face, the difficulties. So probably has made me more aware,
Okay.
more empathetic, and more understanding to realize that this accountancy job is really important for someone.
Oh.
So that career
Mm.
is important to raise their family, pay the mortgage and that. So
Mm.
I just don't know if there's any more similarity or differences, but we sort of all value the things in terms of a person, but maybe sort of interests and maybe social and religious events possibly could be some of the differences there might
Yeah,
be. But it is quite the same, I find.
I think so.
I guess from my experience in Canada, like, okay, it's probably more of, Vancouver's quite diverse. Like, there's probably less Canadians in Vancouver than, there's a lot of Irish there, a lot of Asians, Australians, English, um, not as many Americans, but I'm just saying there's people from different cultures, a lot of
Yeah.
Indians. I've come across a wide range of people in Vancouver too, but I think, just getting outside of a different bubble, maybe comfort zone.
Mm.
There's a lot there to see
Yeah.
in that. So I think people that have come to Ireland have made great contribution. They brought their own ideas, perspectives, creativity. I think as Irish people become more open-minded throughout the history of the famine, we've had a lot of immigration. People have left Ireland for better job opportunities. So I think it's our turn in the last 20 years or so to sort of give back, allow
Okay.
people to build a life here and contribute and live a happy and successful life, however they define it, Caroline.
I think there is a lot more things that bring us together than differentiate us as such. And it's just when I'm looking through my own lens, I might think, oh, I'm just going through this alone and this woe is me. And life has been hard to me, or going in with a victim mentality. Whereas actually we all go through similar things, through similar challenges. And there's more that connects us than actually separates us. So,
It's interesting you mentioned victim mentality because really we have a choice if we want to be the victim or
yeah.
the hero. So I think it's important though to touch on that we're not going to get along with everyone.
Okay.
Not everyone is want to be part of a community, part of a group. Maybe just want to be by themselves or a small
Yeah.
small group of people. And like, okay, everyone's going to have their own belief systems, their own values, and how they see, I suppose, society, politics, and
Mm.
religion. But I try to respect the person. It always comes back to that,
Yeah.
because you can learn from them from every conversation that you have.
Yeah.
A new story could be created, a new relationship, a new opportunity, a new perspective.
Mm.
So I think there's a lot of gifts, talents,
Yeah.
insights, and awareness that can be gained in just looking through the world from a different lens.
Yes.
So I think in terms of mentality, it's just, I think if you see the world as bad or that person's bad, if it's Irish or an international or whoever,
Mm.
probably more you're not having a good relationship with yourself.
With yourself.
So it starts with, I think you said earlier, it all starts with us or I in this
Mm.
instance. And then the energy you portray will
Yeah.
attract back.
It's really looking into yourself and what am I projecting when I'm behaving in this way? What does that mean about me? Or yeah, can I actually go back and track my actions? And yeah, always learning. In every aspect of life, it can confront you, like in the workplace and marriage and raising kids. So really, self-awareness is quite important. Um, so yeah, I you've been coaching me kind of. So I suppose what do you do for yourself? Because I think I can imagine the coaching takes a lot out of you. You're pouring into people a lot and it's extracting from yourself. So how do you pour back into yourself so that you can be able to kind of give from filling your own cup, a cup that's full on your side?
I think as a coach, like the majority of us want to help and serve as many people as they can. And I probably would have started my journey as a coach for everyone, but realizing I just can't coach everyone because there's some coaches that are better at this skill set than I am.
Mm.
So I'm going to stick with the areas I know where I can make that impact transformation that gives me the most joy and fulfillment,
Yeah.
and where I can use my strengths and capabilities. I try to spend time by myself to keep the energy when I need it. If that's meditation, going for long walks, just doing some work on myself as well, and just really work on the relationship too. So I'm trying to get better boundaries in place.
Mhm.
Sometimes it could work longer than I'd like, and that's not even coaching now. That's just on the business side.
Okay.
So it's not just coaching; it's on the business, and always trying to look at, how can I get to the next level? How can I be a better coach for my clients? How can I be a better coach? How can I be a better coach for myself?
Yeah.
And I think it's just taking breaks, reflection, and just not overdoing it, and just acknowledging my best for each day.
Yeah.
So they're probably the small things I can take at that moment.
Yeah. At least if that's working, then you can show up for another day and take on the day. Because yeah, burnout is another thing that affects everybody. And when a lot of you, when you're giving out a lot as well, you also need your cup to be replenished, right? So it's good you take some time out for yourself and yeah, doing what's necessary for you to be able to do your job effectively and serve others, as you say, which is important to you. So now I want to touch on an area which it's more aligned with faith and just inspiring hope in people. And yeah, as I've said, for me, my faith is an important anchor for me. And even as I've wandered in different directions, it pulls me back. And that's where I at least have to center myself and look for my source, my solution, and work out my own faith and my own actions that I need to take. So with that, I do want to reflect on some of the books you've read, some of your favorite books, and just some of the insight and messages you can share from those. But leading into that, I just want to share a verse or two, just and see what's your take on that. And do you think that it's more that um, we are speaking the same thing but in different ways? Let's say if I say a verse from the Bible, whereas a book might say it, but it's the same thing. We're just expressing it in a different way. So I think there's a book you've done a review on, the Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, and one of the verses that came to mind for me is Romans 8 verse 28, which states that, and we know that all things work for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So when it says all things work for good, that's to say even the pain can work for good, even the trauma can work out for your good. It's taking that pain and maybe transforming it to purpose. So yeah, maybe just talk around some ideas, ideologies around the books you've read and some of the lessons you've learned.
I think yes, pain can lead to transformation.
Mm,
If we use that pain, and you referred to that quote there, I think it was the Romans,
yeah.
um, that that pain can really lead you on the path towards what you really want to do, if that's through a biblical verse or a poem
Yeah.
or a book. So a lot of good things really come from bad experiences if you choose to look at that way. And it's like, what lessons have I learned?
Okay.
What gifts have I got here? I look at all experiences, both good and bad, as gifts, lessons, and just new insight and perspective.
Yeah.
That as long as I'm alive, I can make changes.
Okay.
If you look at a book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl,
Yeah.
to me, it was one of the first books I've sort of read on my personal development journey. But it's to do with an Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, and Viktor Frankl ended up in Auschwitz for 3 years.
Mm,
So he had his work with him, this manuscript. So
yeah.
when he arrived, you know, they took all his clothes, they shaved him, and the manuscript was lost and probably destroyed.
Okay.
And from reading that book, there's three things that stood out with Frankl. There is going to be suffering and struggle
Yeah.
in life. but to choose that suffering or struggle, let's say struggle, to do something meaningful where you can make a positive impact to your society,
Okay.
where you could do a job you hate and still probably go into the bracket of suffering. Like it's probably more self-inflicted then because you're not taking responsibility to change or make those choices.
Okay.
So I think what Frankl mentions in the book, like, is everyone has their own mission.
Yeah.
So we don't invent it, we detect it. So Caroline, what it means by that is we are all here to carry out our own new unique work,
Yeah.
our job that no one else can do and only we can do.
Yes.
And I think as well, the other thing is the work we do is is the impact we're going to make, the contribution, how we serve and give
Okay.
back, the relationships we have,
Yeah.
the people we love, family, friends, community. So they're sort of the three things: the work, the relationships, and the struggle we do. Now, I'm not too sure if I have it in the right order, but
Mm.
I think a similar quote would be attention is state that man needs, that we need a purpose, like man
Yeah.
and woman, to get us out of the bed, to make us feel fulfilled, to make us feel energized, and to bring that purpose. The Ryan Holiday ones, like obstacle is the way. It just gets your thinking, looking at solution mindset.
Mm.
Okay, this is a challenge we need to address. How do you come over it? There's lots of different examples in history or recent times of how people face obstacles and how they navigate through it. So it's
Yeah.
both in providing inspiration and hope, but hope that you can achieve it, not false hope. I did actually buy a book yesterday, his new one, Ryan Holiday.
Okay.
I think it's Wisdom Takes Work. So that's his
Wisdom takes
latest book I
okay.
actually have in the bag there that I was planning to maybe read after this. So, but reading to me has been my own sort of solitude and it's given me lessons as well. The Choice by Ede Edgar. She is another Holocaust survivor. And
Okay.
what I find so inspiring with her is the topic of forgiveness.
Yeah.
I think, her parents perished, unfortunately,
Mm.
in the concentration camps, but she came out and she managed to forgive the people that did this to her and her community were one of the worst
Mm.
and one of the most lowest points in human history or mankind or humankind, that she was able to in the end forgive and move on. And it's just not
Yeah.
just forgiving the people that have caused hurt and pain,
Mm.
but to forgive ourselves as well throughout that, to forgive our parents and to
Mm.
forgive those that have done us wrong. So that's another powerful book and different lessons of how we can use that pain and use it to our advantage and take lessons from it.
Yeah.
And she highlights more being the prisoner of our mind. And
Okay.
lots of people are living in a prison, maybe not a physical prison or a cage
Yeah.
with bars, but it's their mind, their thoughts, and they just can't change it or
Mm.
struggling or going through that pain every day. That's why I really touch on that self awareness part, that doing the work, the inner work, going deep, going comfortable. Like there's different stages of life in death,
Yeah.
grief. Now, we're going to have to cross these paths if it's family and that or time. But I think with Frankel it is choice.
Mm.
And when he was in those terrible circumstances, Caroline, they might have taken away his freedom
Mm.
in terms of, his limitations of what he could do,
Yeah.
but they could never take away how he felt. And that's true power there because he
Okay.
made the most of every day. So he was probably still in pain every day, hunger, feeling weak, but he didn't give that power to, say, his tormentors. Where a
Mm.
lot of people today are giving away power to their boss, their colleagues, to, I can't do it, I'm helpless. That kind of victim mentality.
Yeah.
Where these books do provide hope.
Mm.
They do provide inspiration and even podcasts today, or maybe there might be one person that might listen to us and got value from it. There are some of the books that I read or that have made differences to my life. Another one is called Grit by Angela Duckworth, I think it is.
Okay.
Just having about persistence and resilience and dealing with any challenges that come our way.
Yeah.
That this is a skill or a strength we can develop from action.
Mm.
And the more actions we take gives us a better outcome. And there's a time where we might decide, look, this doesn't make me happy, and we might walk away.
Yeah.
But it's walking away when you feel the time is right to walk away. So there'd be some books there. I could go on about plenty of more, but they'd be sort of the main ones. Ryan Holiday's one books. I recommend anyone to read them just to start a
Yeah.
personal development journey and different examples. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, Choice by Ed Edgar, and Grit is another one.
Yeah. That is interesting. And as as you were speaking, I was drawing like different reflections of my own as well, just on yeah, how I relate it back to my own faith. I know for different people it's different, but I know that I can't do it on my own. So I rely on Christ who gives me strength and, building myself up in reading verses that empower me to understand that, okay, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. It's not that I have to walk it alone because um, as a person, I'm flawed. I'm not, I have different vices or, different things that I give power to, like you're saying. And it's always that battle between good and evil and lightness and darkness. And yeah, we just kind of, not say we're waging war, but you are fighting for your life, really. There is a moment of stillness and peace because, I find, my rest when I spend time with God and I just understand what is He saying to me. Because when you're quiet as well, I can listen to what, that voice or that inner voice that's saying, okay, it's going to be fine. You're fine. What haven't I done for you when it comes to, let's say if I'm doubting something, I know I can look back on things that God has done for me in the past. So there's so many interesting reflections that you shared there. And even forgiveness, like you're saying, is very difficult, but
Just
should
to
I say?
add to what you said, Caroline, it's just it has to find what works for the person. For you, it's your faith
Yeah.
and God and Jesus. For other people, it might just be their family
Mm.
or just reading a book or meditation or yoga or wherever they find answers for themselves. Because it's really about what works for you, what
Okay.
makes you unique, what's part of your identity. Because I think a lot when I say people letting go of power, they try to get answers from other people. You tell me the way, you tell me that answer.
Okay.
Where I've had those or people coming to me in past and a few coaching clients that think I have the answers. I don't know how to live your life. I can't answer that.
Yeah.
And like we all have the answers. It's just about tapping into it or peeling back the layers
Yeah.
to find them. And for some people, it can happen very fast.
Yeah.
Others might have to do that deeper work, more reflection, and try to understand the patterns, maybe the triggers and the setbacks in life. Like, I've had some setbacks in a recent relationship
Yeah.
where I have to do a lot more inner work on myself in terms of my own attachment style.
Okay.
What I'm sort of like, I'd be described as an islander. I
Okay.
would need, so I'd be like, think of an
What?
island with water around.
Literally.
So I'd need my own space for reflection, introspection, and that group energy. Being
Okay.
around people can really drain me sometimes. I do
Mm.
like being around people, but
Okay.
maybe just too much social interaction that could sap my battery. But I think an islander is just more. It's probably a little bit in an insecurity too at times around group situations
Okay.
of not being comfortable in the scenario you're in, especially with maybe people you don't get along with, where if you're with all your friends or
Yeah.
there's an occasion, yeah. It just depends. But what I'm coming back to is come doing more inner work, more deeper work. So just a different kind of reflection
Okay.
because you don't want for when you invest time in a relationship and things don't work out, you want to bring what
Yeah.
you've learned to the next relationship and find that connection again where you can create moments, experiences
Mm.
with that other person. So there's different ways of looking at hope, but I do think having someone in your life to go along that journey
Mm.
while you still might take the actions. So, like, I've been doing a lot of work on my coaching business. I've been doing a lot of work on the relationship I have, my own unique attachment style,
Yeah.
which there's a lot of strengths to it. And I'm more aware of the flaws or my own ego, expectations, and personal rules
Mm.
that I might have for different relationships. So, just all comes back to awareness. The
Yeah.
more you're where you are, the better your response can be.
True. Yeah, it's like you have to look back and reflect and obviously um work on things that you can change and fix what you can control, um, going forward.
The interesting thing you talked about attachment styles
Yeah.
in terms of all comes back to the relationship you have with your parents. Was it a
Okay.
nurturing one, a loving one, encouragement, growth, or was it one of neglect,
Mm.
disrespect? And say the most important stage is the first 12 to 18 months in your life with your own mother, if
Yeah.
she's there for you or not. And that's how that connection, or from what I've been reading about different attachment styles, John Bowlby has some great content. There's a book I read recently, Wired for Love by
Okay.
Stan. I can't think of his surname, but he talks about the different attachment styles, which is an anchor, which is a secure relationship, an islander, which would probably be more. I don't like to label myself one, but in terms of my personality, I probably
Yeah.
be like to be alone sometimes,
Yeah.
just to have the energy for myself. And then there's the wave where needs to be around people, and that's where they get their energy and maybe
Yeah.
joy from. But attachment styles, I've learned a lot in terms of how you can make different attachment styles work, and probably managing my own expectations, judgments, and to be fair to the other person. Let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. Have grace and yes, I'm talking to myself as well. So, okay, that's pretty interesting. I've enjoyed our conversation and everything that you've shared, and yeah, there's a lot of insights and um yeah, lastly before we're getting towards the end, and I just wanted to ask you what about Ireland heals you and yeah, gives you the peace to just call this home.
Well, there's still a lot of things that I'm doing to improve, like the relationships I want, and my work on my business,
Yeah.
and goals that I want to have for the rest of this year and next year. But for calling home and having peace, I think I've managed to sort of find who I am and sort my life out in Ireland.
Okay.
I've a close group of friends, a lot of interests here. I see myself living here for the rest of my life, even just going for a walk in the Phoenix Park,
Hmm.
having a coffee, just being around nature,
Yeah.
just noticing what's around me, noticing what's happening in me, and just, if it's GA matches, football matches, or, if there's a gig and someone asks me to go to it, or a comedy, it's just to be open to what's happening that day, or even a lunch or a dinner. But home, I think it's just I can feel comfortable who I am
Okay.
and just have that connection with myself. So I do feel at peace. There is challenges, but like I do think, you know, I'm happy and I'm doing what I want. So
Yeah.
that's why I find that inner peace, or coming home to self, let's say.
Okay. That's amazing. And I'm glad that, you've yeah, made all those successful transitions and changes and you're at peace with yourself and that makes you at peace with everyone around you, your environment. So I've learned so much chatting to you today and I've really enjoyed having you on this podcast. Thank you again for accepting the invitation to be here. And yeah, look forward to my own journey with this podcast and just expressing myself as well, which I've also learned along the way that, the voices come, but it's a happy place for me. So
So
I'll continue for as long as, yeah, it keeps me happy.
and look, I'm delighted to be here, and I appreciate you asking me to come on. I know we've crossed paths before in a
Yeah.
recruitment capacity, but I'm excited to see how this journey goes for you too, and the amount of lives you can impact.
Thank
and
you.
different stories that can be shared and learned, and realizing that Ireland is a society and community for all,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that I think this can make a lot of positive impacts for different lives, different cultures, and different upbringings here in Ireland too. Um, I always look at opportunities and possibilities, and each story that comes on here could give someone a little bit of hope,
Exactly.
encouragement that they can find their inner peace or come home to themselves, as I say.
I'll say amen to that. So, yeah, that brings me to the end of this episode. Thank you so much to Conor for joining me. Watch all our episodes on YouTube and Spotify and follow us on Instagram. It's at fabric_Ireland. Conor, is there any information as well for where people can find you?
If people wanted to ever connect or learn a little bit about myself, you can find my website. It's www.cwccoaching.ie. I had to think about that there. What is it? Basically, cwccoaching.ie.
Okay.
I do have social media accounts. LinkedIn, probably the one I'm most active on, is Conor Clarke. You'd find me under a title Career and Confidence Coach.
Okay.
And then I do have a Facebook account and Instagram, but really the website and my email address and contact details are there. If anyone ever wanted to get in touch or drop me a message on LinkedIn and connect that way, I welcome any conversations I have. As I said, you can learn from so many people. Even in my own coaching journey, so many people have helped me out, Caroline, just to make introductions, giving me new perspective, insights, fresh approach. There's no harm reaching out and just explaining a little bit about why you want to meet them or having a little bit of agenda, because most people are willing to give their time to help.
Yeah.
And now look, I got a lot of benefit and value today, and I enjoyed the conversation. So thank you.
Thanks, Conor. So yes, thanks again for watching and see you on the next episode.